All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as Kyle Shanahan had his Friday presser after the 49ers lost to the Rams on Thursday night. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And this video is sponsored by Better, the official daily fantasy sponsor of the Krug Show. Use Better to make daily fantasy lineups and win real money. Download the app below. Make sure you use the promo code Niners to get your first deposit matched up to $200. And thanks to Better for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, Kyle Shanahan spoke today in Santa Clara. And of course, the topic came up, DeAndre Campbell. What's the status of Campbell? The status is he's gone. He's gone. Simple as that. And he should have been gone a long time ago, but he's officially gone. And Kyle said, you can't do what he did and stay on the team. So simple as that. There's no room for insubordination in the NFL, and you don't put things off on your teammates. And if you show up and you play, there's a code, and this guy broke the code. So he's done here. He's probably done, period. Cut by the Niners. And as Kyle said, you can't do what he did and stay on the team. Kyle said he had some ups and downs this year, that he started slow, that he had improved throughout the year. But the bottom line is when, I said this a month ago. I said if they try to cut or try to bench DeAndre Campbell, he's going to go south on them. You could just tell. You could just absolutely tell. I said if they're going to move him out of the starting lineup, you might as well cut him because he'll be worthless, because he'll quit on the team. And sure enough, he quit on the team. So I'm not right about a lot of things, but I had that one pegged. As far as injuries, Jair Brown's got a groin. He's day-to-day. D. Winters with the neck, day-to-day. Dre Greenlaw with the Achilles/knee. All those guys are day-to-day. He was asked about Trent Williams, and they're not shutting Trent down. Supposedly Trent is trying to get back and play. We'll see if he's successful in his efforts. Kyle Shanahan was asked, hey, Fred Warner went out for one snap early in the game, and he got replaced by Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles and not DeAndre Campbell. Did that lead to Campbell being upset? Kyle didn't know. As far as, he was asked, what's your goal for the rest of the season? He's like, show up and be ready to play. He's like, we didn't play well. We didn't play well on offense. He said, I expect our guys to show up and sell out and play. Those are his goals for the rest of the season. He said, they've already played a lot of the young players. The question came up, will you make young players, the priority the rest of the year? And he said, hey, look, we've already done that. We're already playing our young players. We'll do that more probably down the stretch, but we're already doing that. He was asked about Jacob Cowing as a return man. He says he's taken a step forward. He's definitely improved as a return man. He was asked about, hey, now, Dre Greenlaw, you've had 24 hours roughly to at least mull it over. How does that performance sit with you? And Kyle said, an amazing performance. He's an amazing player. His first half was amazing. Dre is what it means to be a Niner. And it's so ironic or so interesting that in the same day where Dre Greenlaw would do anything in his power to play, DeAndre Campbell, wouldn't play. And when Dre was asked about it in the postgame yesterday, he's like, yeah, he wouldn't play. He didn't want to play. I don't know what to say about that. It's like, it's such a foreign concept to Dre. He couldn't even wrap his head around it. Kyle was asked, why will 2025 be better than 2024? And, what are you going to say to that? What are you going to say? He's like, we're going to be better. He's like, we're going to try to get the best players possible, and we're going to battle. And that's really all you can say. We're going to go try to improve our mistakes, improve our roster, get the best players possible in here, and we're going to go to do battle next year. I don't know that you can really make any definitive statements that anything's going to be dramatically better going forward. That was his answer. As far as Nick Bosa, he said Bosa's not hurt coming out of the game. Bosa did move kind of gingerly yesterday in the post game, but it sounds like he came out of the game without any real injuries. Kyle was asked, hey, have you ever had a game where you didn't have any red zone trips? And of course the answer is yes, but he said, I can't recall. But the Niners had no red zone trips last night. Purdy's interception, he was asked, was it the right play? And, obviously, the way the play came out, JJ stopped running, he got bumped, and then all of a sudden Brock's throwing the ball out there in the corner, made a pretty routine, easy interception on the ball, and JJ couldn't get to it. He was asked, did Brock make the right play? And he's like, well, he obviously put it out there for JJ, and he didn't know exactly how JJ was going to emerge off the double move. And obviously he didn't move well off the double move, and thus it became an easy interception. So it was kind of an answer, non-answer. I mean, it was Shanahan saying that, yeah, generally he agreed with Brock's decision to take the shot there, but that it didn't work out, and he explained kind of why it didn't work out. Kyle was also asked about Debo's performance, and he said it was pretty obvious. He's like, we struggled to get him the ball early, and then, when he struggled to get separation. Kyle didn't say that, but that's what the film showed. And then, Kyle mentioned that, he dropped the touchdown pass in that third quarter on the first drive of the third quarter. Kyle called it a big drop, and there's no question about it. It was a big, big drop for the 49ers. It was the ball game. It was the potential lead. It was a leading touchdown, and the place would have been rocking, and the momentum would have shifted, and suddenly the pressure would have ratcheted up on Stafford, and instead he dropped it, the crowd booed, and the pressure probably ratcheted up on the Niners. And the bottom line is the Rams played a cleaner game. The Rams played a better game than the 49ers. And, the 49ers have to realize that until they start doing, the little things well, situational football, red zone offense, third down defense, red zone on both sides of the ball, special teams. And so they start playing cleaner in, the game within the game and some of the specialty areas within the game. They're not going to win close games. I never felt like they were going to win this game because this game was a close game, and the 49ers don't do the things necessary to win close games. At least they haven't this year. So that's really been the problem. And they didn't do, they got involved in another low-scoring, close game. Their defense stood up and did a real nice job in the first half. The defense, couldn't bow up in the fourth quarter when they needed to. They ran out of gas, as they have many, many times this year. And offensively, the 49ers were out of sync. They spent way too much time early in this game trying to get Debo going when they probably should have leaned on other guys. But they really felt like they wanted to get him going, and they were looking into the past of their past success. But this was a game to look towards the future. We should have seen a lot more of Garenda. We should have seen a lot more running. We should have seen Jacob Cowing utilized as a pass receiver down the field. We should have seen more of Kittle and more of Jawan Jennings and less of Debo. But instead, we got this steady diet of trying to get Debo rolling, and it just didn't happen. There was some debate going into this game. Was Debo struggling, or was he not getting the ball? Debo maintained he was not struggling, that he just hadn't gotten the ball. In this game, that proved that Debo was wrong, that Debo did get the ball and did have opportunities and is struggling and didn't take advantage of those opportunities. And then the defense played a great game and caved at the end when they got a little gassed. And Greenlaw played a great first half, but he was on a pitch count and didn't have anything in the second half. And that's really it. The 49ers, in my opinion, probably would have won the Super Bowl this year if they had had Greenlaw for the whole game. And they probably would have won this game if they had Greenlaw for the whole game. But they didn't have Greenlaw for the whole game in the Super Bowl, and they lost. And they didn't have Greenlaw for the whole game last night, and they lost. And until they start playing better in situational football, they're not going to win close games. And if you don't win close games in the NFL, you're not going to be a team worth a damn, because there's a lot of close games in the NFL. So Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch need to sit down, figure out where they're going, who's going with them, and who's getting lopped off. They need to have a huge draft and a big offseason. And you can see teams go from worst to first, but Arizona's young and getting better. Seattle's young and getting better. Rams have done a quick rebuild. Les Snead has done a real quick rebuild on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and they're getting better. And this division is going to be insanely competitive going forward. And the Niners, I don't think they went 11-1 over the last 2 years in the division. I don't think you're going to see them go 11-1 in the division for the foreseeable future. It's a much better division than it was a year ago. So there you have it. There's the recap of what Shanahan said at his Friday presser. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. This video is also brought to you by Better, the official daily fantasy sponsor of the Krug Show. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.